It's been a busy day in Santa Clara, and the 49ers continue to make some moves that free up more salary cap space. Of course, today they restructured the contract of Trent Williams. That created more space. They had the contract done last week with Brandon Ayuk. That created more space. Today, they also did a contract with Malik Collins. We'll talk about that in a second. That created more space. And now, breaking news, the San Francisco 49ers have restructured the contract of Deebo Samuel, creating $16.4 million in 2024. So the 49ers have been on this trend, and they've done it over the last several years. They like to create as much cap space as possible and then be able to roll that over into the next season. And so their adjusted cap this year was tremendously higher than a lot of the other teams. They're looking to do the same thing next year. That's how they have sustainability with these players and being able to hold on to their prime players. And they're trying to do the same thing now. The kick the can down the road method has worked great for the 49ers when you couple the adjusted cap of what it'll be, and then also the fact that it's going to continue to rise with the more money that the NFL continues to make. So this is what happened with Deebo. Deebo had a cap hit of $28.6 million for 2024. They converted most of his $21 million base salary to signing bonus. That became cash and not cap, and that lowered his cap hit to $12.2 million in 2024, freeing up $16.4 million for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they came into the day, Tom Pelissero talking about the fact that the Malik Collins contract got the 49ers to $50 million in cap space. Now they just created $16.4 million with the Deebo Samuel deal. They created more money earlier with the Trent Williams deal, creating $13 million in cap space. You just start adding up these numbers, and the 49ers are over $60 million in cap space, looking close to $70 million in cap space to roll over into next season. And this is the method that the 49ers have used, and they've used it pretty effectively. The fact that they were able to spend over $30 million more than a team like, say, the Miami Dolphins, because they've, instead of using all that cap, worked out contract restructures and extensions that free up money now that you can roll over till later. And the big conversation points all off season have been, how are the 49ers going to pay for all their players, right? Charvarius Ward is going to be a free agent. Deommodore Lenoir, free agent. Drake Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, Aaron Banks. How are you going to pay these guys and still be able to pay Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk and pay Brock Purdy? That has been the focal point of the conversation during the summer. How are you going to pay all of these guys? And most have said, this is it. This is the last run. This is the last hurrah for the 49ers. And the 49ers are saying, in Lee Corso's words, not so fast, my friend. We've got more. We can continue to make things happen. And Parag Marathi has figured out a way to manipulate the salary cap to be a huge advantage for the 49ers. Now, it also helps that the cap keeps having huge jumps because the NFL is more profitable every single year, and that definitely helps. And betting on that could eventually catch up to you, right? It caught up to everyone in 2020. That projected cap number took a big hit because of what happened and everyone having to get stuck in place and all the things that happened then. You know what I'm talking about. But when it came to now, it just continues to jump, and you've got all these extra factors that I think they're figuring in, from the fact that you've got now a Friday game that's going to be happening in Brazil. Then you've got the fact that you're going to have situations where you're having games on Christmas Day on Netflix on a Wednesday. These additional aspects continue to inflate the salary cap moving forward, and the 49ers are counting on that. And yes, they're going to have a lot of money allocated to a lot of players, and they got to continue to really work the tightrope. But they have consistently been able to do this, right? You need about $5 to $8 million during the season for in-season moves. So you got to cut guys, you got to sign guys, whatever you got to do. And the 49ers have plus 60. I don't know what this number is going to end up being. I went to Spotrac. They hadn't figured it out yet. I'm waiting for my guy Jason Hurley to figure it out as well. But the 49ers get $16.4 million from Deebo Samuel. It is absolutely insane, the type of cap space that they are being able to create. And that's just coming off, the heels of them getting the Malik Collins one done. So Malik Collins, it came out earlier today that they saved $5.4 million in 2025. So they brought his number down. That's going to create, I'm sorry, in 2024, creating a rollover for 2025. Pretty good breakdown here from Johnny Dell. You can follow him, Johnny Dell, on Twitter. He said, "This is a move for 2025 cap. By doing it now, it spreads that 6.79 over 5 years. Instead of 4 and a rollover pays for 2025 increase. It creates $5.43 million of rollover for 2025, while only increasing 2025 by $1.35 million, creating over $4 million more space in 2025. They created space now. They created space in 2025. That's exactly what they're trying to do. And this is where you make a trade, you bring in a player that's on a contract that you didn't work out. This is a way for you to restructure a contract so that way you have control of when that money hits your cap. And so they spread this out over several years, added several void years to bring the numbers way down. So the 49ers right now are doing a lot of bookkeeping. They're going in and they're taking numbers down, and they're trying to create as much money for rollover as possible. They want to make sure that when they get to 2025, they have as much cap space as possible so they can keep this thing rolling. They can bring back the players that are necessary to bring back. They can officially pay Brock Purdy. And the truth is, when you pay Brock Purdy, the cap number is going to go up a little bit for him, but you can kind of kick that down the road as well. The 49ers are paying huge, and Jed York is putting his money where his mouth is. The fact that he paid $47 million, out of pocket, or it's going to come out by 2025, guaranteed money to Brandon Ayuk, $48 million out of pocket to Trent Williams in guarantees. The 49ers are doing it. Now, what does this mean for Deebo Samuel's future in San Francisco? Well, we don't know that for sure. Now, we know a lot of people have been saying that since Ayuk signed his contract, Deebo is for sure gone. I've never been one to think that's entirely the case. Always said if they could figure out a way to work out the contracts where the hits didn't hit at the same time, you could make it happen. So Deebo is going to have another year on his contract next year. If the 49ers would sign him to a new deal next year, an extension, they could have those cap hits come after the balloon payments for Brandon Ayuk or after the big pay. So they could backload his contract. They could make this thing happen. They have figured out the method of the madness that is the salary cap. They figured out how to get money now and roll it over to later, and that kind of inflates everything. So right now, with the cap expected to jump hugely next year, the 49ers adjusted cap could be over $300 million next year, which is absolutely crazy. But they continue to find ways to get that salary cap up so that way they can bring their players back. They do it by doing key restructures and key extensions. Traded a lot of cap space today. Over $5 million from Malik Collins, over $16 million from Deebo Samuel, $13 million from Trent Williams, all in a day's work for the San Francisco 49ers. And all the while, they bring Brandon Ayuk back. They bring Trent Williams back. They make sure they're going to be in the building for the next few years. And then they just find some financial freedom by using a key guy in Deebo Samuel and Malik Collins. So right now, Parag Marathi's putting on a master class on how to handle the salary cap. And I'm feeling really confident with the 49ers' hopes for sustainability into the future, for being able to keep the salary cap at bay, and they can keep this championship window open for as long as possible. So I'm curious what's going to happen, what the numbers ultimately look like from all this. But Deebo Samuel is going to be in San Francisco this year, that is for sure. And he's got a lot of money up front, and now the 49ers have created $16.4 billion in salary cap space. They're getting it done. And I don't think a move is what's coming. Like, I don't think they're signing one. They're just creating salary cap space for the future. But if you get to the trade deadline and you need to make a move and you're the 49ers, you have plenty of resources to go out there and get something done. 49ers are absolutely locked and loaded and ready for the 2024 season. It's great news. I really appreciate everyone coming through. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, stay safe. Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.